Okay. Hi, I'm Marcy.
And I'm Mason.
So in January, I was diagnosed with breast cancer as a 30-year-old with no family history. It was surprising to say the least. We immediately felt the presence that we knew God had this, and we hit the ground running and figured out what our next steps. And it was amazing to see how quickly, even just medically, all the pieces fell into place. In 2 weeks, we already had a medical team assembled, and they had a plan, and I was in surgery in less than 2 weeks, which is rare for it to happen. I've been part of a women's Bible study in the months leading up called Fighting Back with Joy, and it was all about how to find joy wherever you are in the midst of any circumstance. And during that Bible study, I kind of looked around the room, and a lot of the young women were struggling with really big things. Death of parents, health struggles with themselves or their children or their spouses. And I kind of felt like, I don't understand why I'm here. I'm tired, I have 2 kids, that's tough. But immediately when we got the diagnosis in January, I could see how God had used that to pave our road.
Yeah, I think, we talked about we didn't understand why this happened. Still don't, but it's really about we're going to focus on God. And Marcy having done that study when it didn't mean as much to her when she was going through it, and it meant everything to her this year. It was huge. For
me, the kids were the hardest part, knowing that it affected their lives. But they very much took their cues from us. They watched, and as we just kind of put our heads down and
roll with the punches,
trusted that God had this in His hand, they just followed right in line.
We just told them that Mommy was sick and that she had to go get some medicine to get better. Yeah.
One of the best choices we made is we let Bradley shave my head.
Oh yeah.
When my hair started to come out, Bradley...
Because you cut his hair.
I do. I cut his hair.
And he hates it.
And he hates it.
Even though she does a really good job.
So we let him take the clippers, and he shaved all my hair off, which made him feel like he was in control of things. And then he was so proud to tell all of his friends, I cut my mom's hair. Doesn't it look awesome?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and specifically, there were actually two different parts of this year. I remember music playing a big part in your life and our life. And so Marcy and I will play in the well band sometimes together. And right around the time we got the diagnosis, remember the song King of My Heart, which we sang today in the service. And we just broke down. On stage, my wife, me, couldn't sing the song, but it says You Are Good. And everyone came up from the crowd to hug you, and it was awesome. It was people, but it was God. That was pretty amazing. We always felt like a part of the community, but it really did feel like from the moment we told anyone, giant Christ-sized arms around us. Yeah. The whole way,
I mean, just logistically, people from church fed our family for 3 months.
Yeah, that's not a lie.
That's not an exaggeration.
I can only do but so much Chipotle.
I kept a Caring Bridge blog.
Yeah.
Where I would just kind of put my thoughts and things, because I went to college in Alabama, and so I had people kind of everywhere that wanted to keep up with it. But people who I didn't even know ended up following it. People would be like, I really think you need to read this, and kind of forward them the link. And I got letters from people who I'd never met who talked about how watching my faith made them start to have big questions.
Yeah. I think, Marcy said, hey guys, I'm sorry, but my faith is going to be this is the lens I'm going to put on all of this. So if you really want to talk to me about it, you're going to hear Jesus come up a couple times. That's how I'm going to get through this. And a couple moms were like, I really want to understand what you mean by that. That's a huge conversation starter.
I think joy comes out of 2 things. It comes out of a solid knowledge of God's abiding love. And it comes out of a heart of gratitude. Even if our story from here on out might not look like we would have written it, even if this isn't the end of my journey with cancer, God is victorious.
And it cannot feel like victory. But it is. I mean, it doesn't feel like victory when you're sitting in the chemo chair, but after it's all said and done, it's victory.
And when He sent Jesus, Jesus' birth and Jesus' life and Jesus' death has already written the rest of the story for us. And there will be joy and there will be celebration.
This is the reason we sing.